Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Expert Game cast. As you may have noticed, there's no chat on the bottom. That's because I'm casting this game offline, so we're trying something different this time. I'd ideally like to be able to upload one Expert Game every week. And yeah, the Expert Game I've chosen for this week is a match between DauT and Heart, and this was played on January 26th. So hopefully we can have an Expert Game coming out every week. And all the other normal stuff on the stream, which by the way is now at 9 a.m. on Sundays. So I'm going to try to be a little more regular with the stream and let you guys know if there's a change to the time. But yeah, I got to get up early, but that's okay. We're going to make it happen. But either way, going to try casting a few games offline, and hopefully that lead to a little more regular content on your end. Anyway, this game I've chosen is between DauT and Heart. Here is DauT over on the top right side, playing as the Japanese. And on the bottom left, we have Heart playing as the Goths. And by the way, if you haven't made a Twitch stream, made it to a Twitch stream this Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever that is in GMT, we'll be having Barbarossa Ultra Hardcore campaign. So we'll be getting back into that series. So if you want to see that live, go ahead and watch then. Anyway, back to the game. We have Heart playing as the Goths, and again, DauT playing as the Japanese. I've played this matchup quite a few times. I have a video, actually I'll link it in the top right here, an analysis of this matchup. But basically the way it goes is that the Goths are a superior civilization when it comes to infantry. When it goes especially into late game, if both players have an even economy, the Goths fully boom, the Japanese is fully boomed. The Goths will just be able to overwhelm the Japanese with infantry, even though the Japanese infantry is, substantially, it's more quality, but the Goths are cheap enough. However, that said, the Japanese is overall a better Arabian civilization. And why is that? Because their lumber camps, their mining camp, their mills are 50 wood cheaper. Now, it doesn't sound like a huge bonus, and that's one of the primary bonuses going for the Japanese. They don't have too many other great bonuses, but that's actually saving up to just around 200 wood in the early game, which is the most wood saved by any civilization in the early game. Doesn't matter whether it's the Celts with their wood bonus or the Malians, the Japanese save the most wood in the early game, which gets them off to a very nice start and have a nice feudal rush. You combine that in conjunction with their men-at-arms, which attack a little bit faster, 33% faster, I believe, and they've got a pretty deadly early game. Later game, they might fizzle out a little bit, but if they can maintain an advantage versus the Goths, then they can certainly finish it out in the late game. Key for the Goths is to boom. If you boom your economy, you have a good chance at winning in this game. However, that said, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to boom this game. You actually have to play your map and play how your opponent is going to, play reacting to your opponent. So if you need to be aggressive, then you need to be aggressive. But hopefully you can make it to that late stage of the game as Goths. Their men-at-arms rush can be also pretty deadly as well. But they certainly don't have the same economy or early game economy that the Japanese have. And the Japanese should look to take advantage of that. Not to mention the Japanese, they do get Arbalest, which is a nice transition unit if you're going into Imperial Age. So those are the civilizations. Let's take a quick look at the map. We'll take a look at Heart's map, by the way, first. Heart, he's got a back gold on the, he's got a back gold. It's in the left corner, and he's got his wood camp right here. So this is a very important area of the map for him. He's got a lot of critical resources here, and stone over here as well. He's going to build a barracks. It looks like he's going to go for a men-at-arms rush. It is 7 minutes right now, so you want the barracks up by 6:30 for a Dark Age rush. So this is most likely a men-at-arms rush. Nice thing is Goths. We'll see if he makes those men-at-arms as he's going up to the feudal age, or if he's going to get to the feudal age and then make the men-at-arms. Big difference if you're playing as Goths. You really want to know that the discount on infantry only applies once you're in the feudal age. And once again, only woodline for Heart, so he's got a pretty nasty map. He needs to defend this left side as much as possible, make sure his opponent doesn't come downhill with archers a little later on in the game. Taking a look at DauT's map, DauT's got a little bit nicer of a map. He can wall in here. This is going to be pretty nasty to wall, so this is an important area of his map with his gold. He has the lumber camp split out to the right side, a little bit far away from the town center, but he has access to 2 lumber lines, which is pretty nice. So he's going to have a steady wood income for some time. Whereas Hart's going to have a really tough time for wood, and he's going to have to build his second lumber camp over here. Very exposed, yes, but it'll give him some nice wood income for the time being, which is the most important thing right now. Both players looks like they're going to go for a men-at-arms rush. Hart is actually going to build his militias on the way up. He wants to be a little more aggressive, or have his militias out a little bit sooner rather than saving the cost. And DauT already has his militias coming out. Here we go, 2 militias. Forgot to introduce the players a little bit. DauT is, of course, a legend of the game. I consider him probably the second best player in the game of all time, right next to the Viper, which I consider the best player of all time. But DauT's been playing for a greater part of 10 years, and he's always been at a high level, no matter what the meta, no matter how the meta has changed, or with all these different mods and the Wololo Kingdoms and whatnot. Always been a top player. And that's largely a part due to his strategy and his adaptability. And also his great macro management. Hart, he's risen pretty recently. He's probably at the top of his game right now. I believe he's at around 2,300 rated on Voobly, and it should be a pretty good match for DauT right now. And Hart's been a part of some pretty successful teams as well in team game tournaments. So here's going to be the first engagement of the game. DauT has made 4 militia. Looks like he's going to stick with 4, and he's going to go up to the men-at-arms. So here we go. These are Japanese men-at-arms. They're very deadly. There's tons of attack on them. With a 33% extra attack, you can kind of consider these guys as having 8 attack. At least I think. I don't know. I'm not going to do the math here. But they are very deadly. And they're going to go straight for Hart's wood. Hart knows this. He's on the top of this hill, and he's going to make this 4th militia here. Now, Hart, I think he waited to get that 4th militia, which is why he doesn't have that men-at-arms upgrade. However, he should have it just in time. But Hart still needs to be very careful those men-at-arms don't get on top of a villager. If they start attacking the villager, it'll go down nearly instantly. So where is that men-at-arms upgrade? Should be coming in right about now for Hart. And the question is, for DauT, do you take this fight uphill? Not knowing when this men-at-arms upgrade is going to come in. And he's going to take it right now. Still no men-at-arms upgrade from Hart. I apologize, by the way, the spec overlay is not on right now. And, let me go see. Yeah, there we go. Men-at-arms upgrade coming in right now. So this should be a successful defense. Remember these Japanese men-at-arms, again, stronger. That's why Hart's going to pull back some of his villagers. Want to be very careful, though. And so far, this is a pretty successful men-at-arms rush from DauT. Keeping a lot of these villagers idle. These 4 villagers haven't been able to collect at all for the last minute. That could add up to about 1,500 wood that Hart has not been able to take in. And already back at home, actually, DauT's going to make 2 more men-at-arms, so he's going to put on the pressure. But DauT is already making his archery range. He's a step ahead of Hart. Or at least it feels like it. Alright, DauT's going to try again on this side. Try to weaken up these villagers a little bit. More men-at-arms being made from Hart in defense. He's going to need them when these 2 men-at-arms come across the map. And DauT's just going to wait a while. He's probably going to wait for these men-at-arms to come in and try to regroup them. Normally, you don't make men-at-arms this late into the game, 14 minutes, and have them walk all the way across the map. First, let's talk about this matchup. Let's see who's going to win. Looks like just 1 more number for Hart, and that's going to be enough to take this fight, despite the advantage to the Japanese. Normally, you don't make men-at-arms this late, but he knows that Hart will still be open and his wood will still be exposed, so it's worth it for him to try to do some damage. However, was not able to regroup his men-at-arms together, and therefore half of them going down over here. These 2 men-at-arms shouldn't pose too much of a threat, and yeah, they'll be going back. So Hart should regain the score lead right here. He's going into skirmishes right away. Let's see what DauT has gone into. DauT is going into archers, so he's feeling more aggressive. He wants that damage potential. And Hart is feeling more defensive. He just wants to prevent those archers from coming in and doing some damage. Nice pick off of the scout. That's actually pretty important. That scout can definitely get a lot of information from DauT's base. And DauT has seen that his opponent is going for skirmishes, so he's going to make a few skirmishes of his own. Right there. Nice walling from DauT. He's walled the north side completely. I wasn't expecting him to do this, but this is a pretty, it's a pretty worthwhile wall. despite the resources put into it. So now his gold doesn't have to worry about his gold so much. He's just going to double wall here with some buildings. And DauT has made a little nice map for himself. This wood is still exposed. This wood will not last too long, but it's a pretty decent map considering it's Arabia. Hart has maybe a slight military advantage, not really. DauT's just in his archery ranges. DauT's going to move around the long way, he doesn't want to get seen. And he's got that luxury because he knows that these archers wouldn't be able to do any damage anyway. So he can take his time and move around and pick the right angle. I don't think they'll be in time to stop this wall, but it was a nice attempt. And both players are thinking about going up to Castle Age. I would say DauT has a little bit of a lead in this game just because of his map. That wood situation from Hart is going to get pretty nasty in the next few minutes as a lot of these trees start running out. As you can see, the saturation is already getting pretty bad with all the villagers coming, bumping into each other. And normally that is something that you definitely feel as a player. You definitely feel like, why don't I have enough wood? That's probably something that Hart is thinking about. So Hart will eventually have to move into the back over here, move in over here, or place a town center here. There's a lot of hills here. He's actually able to get in on the bottom side just in time, actually. And there's only one skirmisher in here defense, so these archers will definitely do some good damage. Will they pay for themselves, though? I don't know. It looks like DauT is just going to delay this wall a little bit and get out of there. It's the big question. If you go in, you're going to accept that you're probably going to lose your archers at some point, and it looks like DauT has just decided to make a few more skirmishers and will be able to defend if those archers were to go in. So DauT's going to come out. Meanwhile, over here, the men-at-arms trying to batter through that wall. They will get through that house. However, I don't know if this is enough. Most of these men-at-arms are on full HP. Let's see what they can do. +1 armor is done for Hart. That really helps the beefiness of his skirmishers. And he's going to come in, but this is where those men-at-arms really play a great role. Get a few shots on those villagers. And there's only 4 archers left in this combo. 3 left. This one's on 1 HP. 2 archers left. And most of these men-at-arms still on pretty high health. They're going to take down this female villager. 1 villager down. And great raid from Hart, just barely had enough to take that. But this is awesome. Gonna take villagers off of gold, villagers off these 2 farms. Gonna head to the wood line next. This is the damage that Hart needs to do. You always want to stay aggressive when you have a bad map. And that single layer of house, just not enough. Imagine if DauT was just put maybe a 10 wood worth of palisade down here. Would have prevented this whole situation. Only 1 archer left in this mix, though, but as long as DauT wants to whittle away these men-at-arms and take out that 1 archer, then the villagers can fend for themselves. But this is pretty much a disaster in DauT's base. A lot of DauT's economy being pretty idle. And now Hart's going to go ahead in the score. And oh my gosh, look at how many skirmishers Hart has. Going to come in over here. DauT's up to the Castle Age. Hart is a little bit slower, maybe made a little more skirmishers, which is why he's doing the damage right now, but it's also why he's slower up to the next age. And yeah, let's see how much damage this is doing to DauT. DauT does not have a lot of gold. He doesn't need a lot of gold, though. He's forced into skirmishers now. Gonna kill at least 1 more villager, I think. And still trying to do that damage. Those men-at-arms, you can throw them away at this point. Just try to get 1 more villager. They're going to be pretty worthless going into Castle Age. And now's the time for Hart to get out of there. Maybe try to get 1 more villager, but that's about it. Good damage from Hart. Hart can go back now. His map is safe. So that's one of the great things about him. And remember, DauT has to do the damage as Japanese. I think the Goths will have an advantage later on. So as long as Hart keeps it even, does a little damage here, can run back to his base, defend for a little bit, I think Hart should have a good shot at this game. DauT's going to get back on gold, re-wall that up, stay on skirmishers for a while, and maybe add some crossbows here. He's going to have to wait for a little more gold income to transition back into crossbows. Now this does make DauT a little bit vulnerable to a knight transition, since he can't add archers right away. And indeed, Hart has chosen to go for 2 stables right here. So here comes the knights. Knights are bloodlines +1. Great against skirmishers. DauT hasn't made the crossbow upgrade yet. He doesn't have any crossbows, so all of these skirmishers are going to go down. So snowball effect, these skirmishers take away DauT's gold. DauT's forced to skirmishers. Hart transitions into knights. Great play from Hart. And because he doesn't really need these skirmishers anymore, just throw them. You can throw a few away. You never want to throw units away, but they're not that important. Now Hart only going into second town center now. He wanted to get those knights out, so that delays your third town center. DauT playing more macro-oriented. He's got 3 town centers right away. And he's still not making archers. He's instead going to make a monastery, so he's going to go full boom defensive mode. One of the things that DauT does pretty well is booming, especially under pressure. He's already got the wall set up, so monks should be a sufficient defense. And he's going to hope to... I don't know what kind of aggressive play he's going to do. He's on full defensive right now, but eventually he has to transition to an offensive option. I don't know what that is, but for now, DauT is just going to focus on getting his economy rolling. Wood is going to hurt a little bit for DauT as well. This wood is not great. This wood over here is not great. Because of that, I think Hart might want to come forward with a siege workshop just to keep DauT within his walls. Eventually, he's going to starve DauT of wood. And here we go. Hart is going to come forward with a siege workshop right now. So what do I say? Good play from Hart. Let's see where the siege workshop's going to go. Right on the front, so you can batter down the. I think the barracks, the 2 archery ranges would be the best spot. Over here, there's not too much. And I think right around in this area. Here we go. Siege workshop going to be a little back just in case. I think DauT's going to have his hands full. He's going to go full pikeman right now. Hope that Hart doesn't make elite skirmisher. Hope to get some good conversions. But DauT needs to transition to some other army. He can't stay in his base for very long. And I'm wondering what that army is. DauT is heavily mining stone. Although he doesn't have any in the bank yet. Oh, there we go. He's got a castle up already. Okay. Interesting. So he's probably... I don't know, it's very unusual for the Japanese to make Castle Age samurai, but when you take into account the civilization matchup that he's playing the Goths has not upgraded crossbow yet. The Goths will want to transition to infantry. Samurai might be a good option in this particular case. Once again, a little bit lazy walling. I like to double wall, just so it's harder for units to get in. And gonna get one conversion on the knight. Or not. Gonna go back for now. So DauT's already thinking about samurai. He's got a good eco for it. He's got a lot of farms, so he can definitely pump the samurai. And there'll be a very, very strong unit until the Goths gets their full boom going. Now, Hart is definitely behind in his boom. He's down to 2 town centers. He will have to get a 3rd town center out somewhere. There it is, 3 town centers. Still a little bit behind, though, because that town center was later. Hart's going to try to apply some pressure, but now the pressure doesn't really make too much sense. With the castle up, you're not really able to get through any of this. So that's a little bit wasted resources from Hart. Now, of course, Hart, unfortunately, couldn't see DauT's stone, which is why these walls are so valuable. They help prevent scouting information. So Hart's going to try to make the best out of this, though. He can try to push through on the right side. The Japanese do get redemption, although it, of course, is an expensive tech. And I don't know if I don't think Hart knows this castle's here. He's going to lose a Mangano immediately to it. Well, he's going to try to get through, but there's no damage to be done here. Just 2 more monks and should be enough to defend from all these knights. And 4 samurai already queued up for DauT. Spearman going to go for the Mangano. The Mangano's not going to attack ground. And he's going to get the Mangano. Oh, where is he? Might not. It looks like the knight's getting in between the Mangano and the Spearman. So right now, I definitely prefer Hart's position. Hart's actually getting a pretty good boom going. I don't know, hard to say, really. I think DauT needs to push out right now. Hart's definitely ahead in the score, though. But let's see what DauT can do with this. The question is DauT's economy strong enough to support two castle samurai production with all the upgrades? Elite samurai upgrades, at least 1,000 food. All those upgrades in the blacksmith cost food. Samurai themselves cost food. And so far he's floating a pretty good amount. So let's see. Now, as soon as DauT pushes out, his main goal should be probably taking back one of these woods or golds. That's not very much wood or gold. I mean, that's enough gold, but that's not enough wood. Might want to build the town center over here. Take both. And try to do some damage. Alright, let's see what damage he could do with these samurai. Heart's in kind of an interesting position. Maybe he wants to go more heavily into Cavalier. Let's go to Heart's point of view. Yeah, Heart is just up to the Imperial Age right now, so a little bit later. Working on getting his first castle out. That way he can research his unique techs. Obviously, Huskar won't be an option since the Samurai are already out on the field. Samurai plus 12, plus 10 and plus 12 versus unique units. So it's all going to be about the champion for the Goths. Perhaps hand cannons. There's the first castle out for Hart. Should be making perfusion right away if you can afford it. At least conscription. And let's see if my prediction was right at the beginning of the game. Both players' economy are nearly identical, I would say. DauT does have 2 castles out. That is something to take into consideration. But both players' economies are about even. I said that the Goths would win in this matchup. But let's see how the players play it. That, of course, matters a lot. At least Samurai should have enough attack power to take on the Knights. And good enough numbers. Elite Samurai already done, so DauT's already afforded the biggest upgrade he needs. And he's got plus 2 armor done. So those are the 2 biggest upgrades. And plus 4 armor done now as well. So these guys can tank some arrow fire. Heart's gonna wall him out, that's very nice. DauT might go for the town center next, but Longswordsman is done. And there they go, they're gonna go for the town center. Take out a few of these Longswordsmen before they upgrade the champion. Here we go, perfusion being done from Hart, so he's gonna have extremely fast production speed. He needs to get that 2-handed swordsman upgrade though. And there's that 2-handed swordsman upgrade right there. And you can see the attack power of the samurai, just such a better unit. Alright, perfusion's done. The question is, just Hart have enough food, have enough gold to pump these units. He's got the production speed now. And that champion upgrade should be on the way soon as well, hopefully. Although you might want to stick on 2-handed swordsman for now. So each 2-handed swordsman is significantly cheaper than the samurai. The samurai is significantly more powerful than the 2-handed swordsman. And all Hart has to do, he needs to defend this area. If he could get enough stone for another castle, that would be awesome. But I don't know if he will. Hart trying to pump as many 2-handed swordsmen. He doesn't want to really regroup them because he's going to lose his town center immediately. He doesn't come and defend this area. And DauT made a bend just 1 step ahead with that samurai transition. And his economy might have been that 1 step ahead. And that's what we said. If the Japanese is able to be 1 step ahead going into the Imperial Age and make sure it's not an even fight versus the Goths, that's how the Japanese are able to win in this matchup. Here comes DauT. He's going to go for a raid, take out some of the farmers, and suddenly your opponent can't afford the champion upgrade, can't afford to make enough 2-handed swordsmen. DauT's just pumping as fast as he can from 2 castles. Now 3 castles done for DauT, and he's moved out. He's moved out to another gold. He's moved out to this gold over here on the right. It's getting more wood over in the south side, so he was able to expand out. And this is a very deadly number of samurai from DauT. If he wants to take it that 1 step further, then he should research chemistry and add maybe a few hand cannons. Champion's done, but Hart's already calling GG. He's lost the middle part of his base. and he's not going to be able to defend any of this farmland. As you can see, Samurai just raiding in through every corner. So DauT, one step ahead of the game, getting his boom started nice and early, led him to be able to make this Samurai transition. And normally you wouldn't go Samurai in the Castle Age, but it just made sense against this civilization. So nice foresight from DauT. Great plays from Hart as well. And I hope you enjoyed this expert game, and I'll see you next week.